Ladies and gentlemen, from the Universal Church of Freedom, Peace and Justice, Deacon Gerald Celente.
Hello, this is Deacon Celente of the Universal Church of Freedom, Peace and Justice. And as I keep saying, there's a lot of silence among most of the religions about peace talks to end the Ukraine war. As a matter of fact, the leaders of Italy, France, Germany, and now the UK went to Kiev to say they would send more weapons of death to keep bloodying the killing fields of Ukraine. And the media applauds it. Those of us speaking out for peace are blackballed and denied any voice of reason. The only voice they keep putting out there is more war, more weapons, and more death, sending billions and scores of billions of dollars, putting sanctions on Russia that have spiked the prices of gasoline and different foods and commodities. No peace. But we're warriors for the Prince of Peace. And any God that you believe in that loves peace on earth and goodwill to men and women. So, on July 23rd at 2 p.m. on the Four Corners of Freedom in Kingston, New York, we are having a peace and freedom rally. And we'll have great speakers, food, and the hot damn band. And that's right, Gary Null from Progressive Radio Network, a champion of natural healing. He'll be one of the speakers. Judge Andrew Napolitano. There's nobody says what the judge says with the judicial authority that he has, making it very clear how they're robbing us of our freedom, peace, and justice. And Scott Ritter. Yep, Scott Ritter will be here as well. A real man of knowledge, been on the other side, knows what it looks like, and knows where it's going. And of course, I'll be one of the speakers as well. So 2 o'clock, July 23rd. Of course, it's free. It's open to everyone. So please come to Kingston, New York, John and Crown Street, Four Corners of Freedom. The freedom that they robbed from us with the COVID war was unprecedented in world history. Locking down nations, cities and states around the world. They have destroyed the lives and livelihoods of billions and billions of people. It's not coming back. Businesses are gone. We're all feeling the pain financially, and they suck the joy out of life. And the people that did it are the biggest hypocrites, and they're the ones that are champions in the mainstream. The mainstream. Nothing goes outside the mainstream, just one stream. And the champion of all of that was, and is, Anthony Fauci, the most highly paid public servant in America. It's reported this week that Fauci gets positive tests for the virus. They go on to say, it added that he was fully vaccinated against the virus and has been boosted twice. I haven't been vaccinated for the virus, and I haven't been boosted at all. Gary Null hasn't, and many others haven't. Why don't they report about us? Xavier Becerra, the Secretary of Health and Human Services in the United States, he had tested positive on Monday for the second time in less than a month. Fully vaccinated, fully boosted. Representative Maxine Waters, Democrat of California, on Tuesday, she had tested positive. She had also done so in April. Fully vaccinated, fully boosted. And they keep selling us vaccine that's not working. And remember, when it came out, they said it had a 95 or 96% efficacy rate, the Pfizer shot. And then you go back and you see the hysteria that they sold us and the fear. This is from March 15th of 2020. New York hospitals will be overwhelmed by coronavirus patients without help from the U.S. military. New York's governor at the time, Andrew Cuomo, warned. He said that the hospitals will be overwhelmed by the oncoming wave of coronavirus patients if the federal government does not step in. He told President Trump to take unprecedented steps and mobilize the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to retrofit public buildings like SUNY dormitories when you go there, into medical facilities. The wave could break the hospital system, Cuomo said. In my opinion, which is not science-based, you will not be able to flatten the curve to avoid the wave. You will be short thousands of ICU beds, thousands of ventilators. The governor said the state does not have the physical capacity. You have no other option than bringing in the military. Otherwise, we'll be sitting here for 9, 10 weeks from today seeing a health system overrun. So what did they do? They closed down the huge Javits Center, turned it into a hospital in the SUNY places, brought in ships for the Navy, hospital ships in the New York harbor, empty. They didn't flatten the curve. They flattened life, which is not science-based, was his words. Exactly. It was political science. There was no science to any of this. Plexiglass dividers, washing your hands, sanitizing them constantly, scrubbing down surfaces, wearing masks when you walk in a restaurant but taking them off when you sit down, standing 6 feet apart as the wind blows everywhere. Political science-based. And it kept getting worse. New York limits social gatherings. New York has moved to tighten restrictions on social gatherings as a surge of COVID-19 throughout the United States. Indoor gatherings at private residence must be limited to 10 people beginning on Friday evening. This is November 11th. Cuomo announced. The state had allowed gatherings up to 50 people. They made these numbers up and no one called them out for it other than us. Restaurants, bars, and other businesses with liquor license must close dine-in services each night at 10 p.m. Not 9 p.m., not 11 p.m. We'll make up 10 p.m. After which time they will be limited to curbside pickup. The curfew, which begins on Friday, will also apply to gyms. They have destroyed our lives. From the COVID war to the Ukraine war. Senators bring Biden's 2023 military budget request to $857 billion. In 2022, Biden has already sent $57 billion to Ukraine to keep bloodying the killing fields. Yep. The committee, which has 13 Republicans and 13 Democrats, approved the massive spending bill by a 23-3 vote. German Chancellor Scholz offers more weapons to Kiev, as has France, the UK, Germany, and Italy. We're supporting Ukraine with arms supplies and will continue to do so. As long as Ukraine needs our support, Germany is giving Ukraine massive support. He calls Ukraine part of the European family. I don't know what family he's talking about. Not part of the family of Europeans. Each country is their own. Under one umbrella of NATO, the murderous NATO that destroyed Yugoslavia, the murderous NATO that destroyed Libya, Afghanistan, the murderous NATO in Iraq. That family. He condemned Russia for its, quote, unimaginable cruelty. This is coming out of the mouth of a German chancellor who's saying Russia is imposing unimaginable cruelty when the Germans imposed truly unimaginable cruelty on the Russians, killing between 25 million and 27 million during Operation Barbarossa, launched by Germany's head, Adolf Hitler. This is hypocrisy. Joe Biden announced another $1 billion, including anti-ship systems, artillery rockets, and rounds of howitzers. This morning I spoke with President Zelensky to discuss Russia's brutal and ongoing war against Ukraine. This is from DW News, German news center. NATO has announced it will boost forces on its eastern flank as Vladimir Putin's brutal war with Ukraine enters its 5th month. This is the New York Times this past Tuesday. Europe weighs hard to fight. Goes on to say, opens with this paragraph. Losing ground to Russia's brutal advance in the East. So, DW, goes on to say that Vladimir Putin's brutal war, Joe Biden, Russia's brutal and ongoing war. And then in another article, right next to it in the New York Times, same page, front page, Ukraine war cues Taiwan to get ready. Russia's brutal war in Ukraine has jolted Taiwan. Brutal war. It's propaganda. They're all using the same exact opening. Was the New York Times calling America's war against Afghanistan a brutal war? Were they showing pictures daily of the brutal murders committed by the United States and NATO of the Afghan people and destruction of the country? Did they call America and NATO's war in Iraq a brutal war? Did they call America and NATO's war against Libya a brutal war? Are they calling America's war and its allies' war, including Israel, against Syria a brutal war? It's pure propaganda. Of course it's a brutal war. War is brutal. The hypocrisy is clear. World War III has begun. Putin blasts stupid Western sanctions as economic blitzkrieg. This was Friday. Addressing the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, Putin said, "We are a strong people and can cope with any challenge. Like our ancestors, we will solve any problem. The entire 1,000-year history of our country speaks to this." He said the main aim of the invasion was to defend the people in the largely speaking Donbass region, of which Ukraine had killed over 15,000. And they are destroying the place now, but that's not being reported in the New York Times, and they're not showing Ukraine's brutal war and destruction. Putin said Russian soldiers in Donbass were fighting to defend Russia's own rights to secure development. CNN reported as the much-hyped speech was delayed. Much-hyped speech. When Americans or NATO allies give speeches, they're not much-hyped. No. It was delayed for almost 90 minutes because of a cyber attack. And as we have shown, the United States admitted doing cyber warfare to help Ukraine. Putin said they live in the past on their own, under their own delusions. They think that they have won, and then everything else is a colony, speaking about the United States, a backyard, and the people living there are second-class citizens. And that's what he said. He went on to say, over the past decades, new powerful centers have been formed on the planet. Each of them develops their own political system and public institutions, implements their own models of economic growth, and of course has the right to protect themselves to ensure national sovereignty. We are talking about real processes, about true revolutionary, tectonic changes in geopolitics, global economy, the technological sphere, and the entire system of international relations. He accused Western countries of deliberately undermining those foundations of international order to satisfy their geopolitical illusions. The president also pointed out that the U.S. can steal any person, group, or state's money simply over something Washington did not approve of. And that's what's going on. The sanctions have cost we the people. Inflation's skyrocketing. The economy's going down. World War III has started. If we don't unite for peace, we are going to die in war. China has made itself clear that they are allied fully with Russia. They made that statement this week. So if it's China and Russia against NATO and the United States, who wins? No one. It's the end of life on earth. We have mentally ill people in charge. By their words and deeds you shall know them. We are doing everything we can to get this peace movement major news every day, all the time. And we need your support. So please remember, July 23rd, Saturday, on the Four Corners of Freedom in Kingston, New York, John and Crown Street, starting at 2 p.m., Gary Null, Judge Andrew Napolitano, Scott Ritter, the Hot Damn Band. We'll have food, music, and it's free. Of course, you buy all the food you want. We don't give you that, and drinks. But we have the vendors there. And we're not charging them. We're bringing them there so there'll be something there for you. And to help us, this is costing us a lot of money. You can donate to freedompeacejustice.com. freedompeacejustice.com. Thank you for tuning in. Amen and amen.